Hey, Motorman here. I'm at Newport Richie Harley-Davidson, and I'm about to take a 2026 Heritage Liberty Edition. Now, I know a couple of months ago I took a Heritage out. The reason I wanted to ride this particular bike today is because I recently took out the new Indian Vintage, and I would say this is the best competition from Harley for that particular motorcycle. So I wish I could ride them back to back, but can't always get what you wish for. But this would be close enough. That was last week. This is this week. You got the beautiful painted on under the clear coat eagle badging, really good. I like the windshield and the clear with the blue. The color is it's a dark gray metallic. Plenty of flake in there. There's the flying eagle again. And of course they've got the 117 motor this year. The RDRS, cornering ABS. All the good safety features that you had to pay extra for in the past are now standard. Well, okay, this is, as I said, the Liberty Edition. They make these in limited numbers. And I would compare this with the Indian Chief Vintage, possibly the Anniversary Edition, they're calling it, which comes with a custom paint job, a black and red combination. Lots of metal flake also, like this bike has. And price-wise, they're really close. If you look at the base Chief Vintage, it's 20 grand, that's for black. And with Harley, you would get, for the same price, you would get the Heritage with the solo seat, no passenger pegs, and of course the Chief Vintage, that's the way it comes. But the Harley for the 20,000 comes with the windshield and the bags. So you'd have to spend at least 500 for the windshield, 1,000 for the bags on the Indian to get to make them perfectly. So in other words, you're going to spend 1,500 more for the Indian. As far as styling, yeah, this is about the most nostalgic bike that Harley-Davidson makes, the Heritage Classic that it's called. And that's why it's called that, because it's reminiscent of their 1950s motorcycles, late 40s, early 50s. Same thing with the Chief Vintage. It's reminiscent of their late 40s, early 50s models. They went out of business in 53, so that was the end of Indian until they started selling the name back in, I think, the 90s. As far as the performance, this has got a 117, Indian a 116, both of them lots of torque, way down low. This feels faster because there is no hesitation with the throttle. On every Indian I think I've ever ridden, the throttle response is not what you would call immediate. There's always a sort of a lag. Now this bike has riding modes as well. It's got rain mode, road, and sport. Right now I'm in sport mode, and the throttle response is just excellent. But I would say both those bikes, or both these bikes, are really close performance-wise, ride and handling. To say which one has the edge, I'd probably have to spend a few days with each of them to make that comparison. But I think that people who are trying to make that decision would go more on the styling of the motorcycle. I mean, if you're going to spend 20 grand or 25,000 someplace in that price range, maybe money isn't the deciding factor, but rather style, how you feel riding the motorcycle, things like that. Lots of power. Like I said, down low. I'm in fourth gear at 40 miles an hour. I open the throttle and man, this just takes off. But That's not the horsepower, that's the torque. I believe horsepower on this bike is about 100 or 105, somewhere in that range. I would imagine the Indian is very similar. Now, of course, both of these bikes, the Heritage and the Chief Vintage, are all about the nostalgic, classic styling of heavyweight American motorcycles. And that segment, heavyweight American style motorcycles, is still owned by Harley-Davidson, but Indian is catching up, no doubt about that. And competition is good. Competition makes everything better, and sometimes cheaper. So far, the cheaper part I haven't noticed, but the fact that Harley-Davidson has to make the best bike they could possibly make for the money. Indian and their competition is partly responsible for that. As far as fun to ride, which a motorcycle should be all about fun, yeah, it's, again, you got to ride them back to back to tell that difference, and over, at highway speeds, through city traffic, that kind of thing, which, I can't take the bike out and put a couple of 100 miles on it, because there's a brand new motorcycle the dealer's got to sell as new. I should also mention comfort with this bike, the Heritage. You're riding an upright riding position, which to me is the most comfortable. You got these mini apes on here, so that if you're a taller rider, you can adjust them forward to give you a little more room. Or if you're a shorter rider, you could adjust them backwards. Same thing with the Indian Vintage. Decent amount of pullback to adjust for the rider. That bike also has a very upright riding position. Both bikes are more than capable of long distance touring, as well as around town. This bike, the windshield pops right off just like the Road Kings, and as do the bags. I think it's one bolt that takes off the bags, if I'm not mistaken. What you're getting with the Heritage and the Chief Vintage is a great all-around motorcycle. Modern running gear, nostalgic looks, styling, and of course that's up to you which one you like better. But they are very close in just about every category. Now it seems to me that this has got more power than the Indian, but like I said, seat of the pants could be deceiving. It could just be the torque comes in, maximum torque comes in at a few hundred RPM lower on this bike. I'm not sure, I'd have to check the specs on that. Or the fact that the throttle response is so good on Harley motorcycles versus Indian. Now keep in mind that if you're riding an Indian, you've been riding it for a while, you probably don't even notice the throttle response on that bike, because you get used to it, and that's fine. Another thing to think about is the amount of dealers Harley has versus Indian. So if you're out on the road somewhere, you have a problem, or you just need service done, even though a lot of Harley dealers had closed up, I believe there's still about 600 of them across the country. I'm not sure about Indian, but I don't think it's even half. So that's something else to think about. Now, if you got an Indian dealer, near you, and most of your riding is within a couple of 100 miles of where you live, yeah, that's not a factor. These are just things, you know, you want to think about when you're putting the kind of money, $20,000 or better, into a motorcycle. And there's always been, you know, a rivalry between Harley-Davidson and Indian riders. It's like, you know, there's always been a rivalry between Ford guys and Chevy guys and Mopar guys and that kind of thing. Mainly it's in, you know, just good-natured ribbing of each other. It does seem like with the motorcycles, yeah, people actually get mad if I say something bad about Indians. And I haven't noticed that with Harleys, but I do notice the I Hate Harley section whenever I do a video on Harley-Davidson. People are coming out of the woodwork who say they hate Harleys. Why they want to click on a video about Harleys if they hate them so much? Yeah, I haven't figured that one out. And keep in mind, regardless of what motorcycle you ride, the higher your skill level, the more enjoyable riding a motorcycle is, when you actually know what the hell you're doing. Get yourself a copy of my Ride Like a Pro experience video, and you'll have everything you need to know about riding a motorcycle. Just 20 bucks. You can get it DVD or download. Watch that video. It's not something you watch once or twice and never watch it again. It's something you should watch at least once a month, and especially in the off season. Remember the proper techniques. That's what it's all about. Proper techniques, regardless of the type of motorcycle. Techniques work on every bike, and for just 20 bucks, I mean, how could you go wrong? So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment below, let me know what you would pick, whether it be this, the Heritage, in any of its variations, or the Indian Chief Vintage, or any of its variations, because there's a lot of them. I like to hear it.